Well, welcome. This is Selling Houston P.O.V. I'm Bernard, and I have
Ebony Royal.
Ooh. Well,
we are obviously missing a little piece to our. It's not dynamic duo today, but typically it's three of us.
Missing Aisha.
We are missing Aisha, and she has something pretty exciting going on. This is a very good reason for missing out today.
I would tell them.
Yeah. Okay.
Aisha got a feature on ABC 13, one of our Houston news channels, and she has a great new product that is about to gear up to launch in the city of Houston, and ABC 13 asked her to do a feature. So we're really proud of Aisha and all her endeavors that she is doing.
Oh my gosh, her and Kevin. I guess we'll say her husband Kevin too.
Exactly.
He has a piece of the pie.
Exactly. So we approved her PTO at this point in time.
I love that.
It's approved by HR. So
so I don't know if you guys know, but that is Bernard's nickname at our brokerage is HR. Okay, he knows all, sees all, and he is involved in all.
Please don't listen to this lady.
Oh my God. So Bernard, well, this is, it's good to be the two of us every now and then.
This is what we started. We started doing Instagram Lives. I don't know if you guys ever saw us, but this is how this started. We started doing Instagram Lives, and then Aisha was like, hey. We're like, hey.
Yeah.
Y'all want to do podcasts together?
Yeah. I mean, she's a perfect third wheel. We're going to just call you the third wheel, Pooh. Sorry. So she's a perfect third wheel because she has such a different perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Bernard, what's been going on with you?
Yeah, it feels like it's been 3 weeks since we recorded, so I don't know. It's like
really? Well, probably because we have been busy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, really busy with networking events, busy with business, busy with life. We have a lot going on.
Good things, though.
All good things.
All good things, yeah.
All good things. So, but I'd love to talk a little bit about this rental market that we have going on.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the rental market is blowing up, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Blowing up in a good way, right? When people say blow up, like, oh my goodness, what does blow up mean?
Yeah.
But no, I do feel like it's going up, and it mirrors the housing market.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that.
You feel like it's good? That's a good thing, sort of? Yeah.
It depends, and that's what I tell buyers, depending on what side of the table you're on.
Yeah, that is true. And you as an investor.
Yeah, it depends on what side of the table you're on. I mean, yes. Is it good? Yeah, it's good. But it also depends on when you got in. I mean, there's always chances for you to still get into the market, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize this too. But I was just talking to one of our agents at our brokerage as a property manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know this, but when they build a new apartment complex on its 5-year anniversary,
mm-hmm.
it's up for sale. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. I mean, is that across the board?
Around about, yeah.
That's the typical stats.
Either on the 5-year anniversary or right after the 5-year anniversary or right before the 5-year anniversary. And do you know what fuels the obviously it's dealing with the amount of tenants they have in the complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you know what really fuels the sales value on it?
I do not. So it's not occupancy rate.
It is. That has something to do with it.
But I mean, it's the supply and demand as well.
The real estate market.
Right.
The real estate market. This $100,000 house, this $200,000 house, this $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $1 million house impacts this major apartment complex. And guess what? We're in a high market, and it's the same with the apartment complex.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a a bunch of different reasons why, there's such a huge, I don't quote me on this because I have not done my homework, but I do recall it's been about a 20% increase in the price of, rental in the rental market right now. And I think it's because the home prices have skyrocketed.
That plays a big role in it.
People are taking advantage of selling their home.
Yep.
And they're wanting to rent and lease until the market, quote unquote, levels off.
What the heck does that mean?
What does that mean? Right. But that's, to me, one of the major reasons that's fueling the increase in the
supply and demand, right?
Yeah.
It's most of the properties have been up for sale and have been sold to families and not other investors.
Yes.
Some.
Yes.
Not
yes.
all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that plays a big role. What I was going to say is that I think too, well, what I know, there are a lot of new investors purchasing homes cash.
Yeah.
Like tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. But
so do you feel, I'm going to go back to what we talked about a few episodes ago, like iBuyers.
Okay. I was
right?
like, ooh,
I know. No. I mean, the fact that, iBuyers are, snatching up a lot of single family homes. And again, those people are taking the cash, paying off debt or banking it.
Living in an apartment.
And living in an apartment or renting a house, a single family house.
I see it all day.
Yeah. But do you feel like iBuyers had a big, is it just them or is it the investors, the iBuyer, just a combination of things?
It's everybody. It's iBuyers, it's investors, it's rental companies are growing their portfolio. Quite a few of my listings have gone to huge rental companies, and I don't want to give their name out, but like there are like major companies that have over 500 properties across the nation.
Right. And there's some big name developers, like big builders that are purchasing land
to start a rental
communities.
Should we just display or just talk about, can we talk about their names?
Why not? Yeah.
I don't know if you read, but I know what you're finna say, but I'm going to flip the scriptures and be like, I didn't know about that.
Okay.
So Lennar talked about that a few years ago.
Okay.
That's what they saw, that's where the market was going, and that they were going to do their best to put up rental properties. Like they were going to get into the rental business, right? Because you can't go wrong with it. You buy it, you lease it out. After a while, you sell it.
Right. And they probably saw the supply and demand issue, the lack of supply. And
2 years ago, it wasn't as bad as it is now, though.
But they first saw it.
That's right.
They forecasted
it.
Yeah. That's what the big developers do.
Correct.
That's how they start in areas like Magnolia, Texas, or New Caney, or, that's what they do. They identify up and coming areas, they purchase the land, they develop it, and then here come your other companies like your HEBs,
exactly,
Starbucks.
Exactly, because they know that there's going to be roofs over there.
Yeah.
The second company that I read, this is already working, is D.R. Horton.
You know D.R. Horton not being left out.
D.R. Horton has launched their rental portfolio, and essentially what they're going to do is take their Express Home brand and make it into rental properties. Mm-hmm. They even created their...
They already have some.
They have some, but they're finna they're finna go to the next level with it because, there is a high demand and they're doing it in a really smart way. As realtors, we're not able to talk about school districts, but they're doing it in one of the top school districts, quote unquote, per Google says. But
or niche.com.
Or niche, right? Mm-hmm. It's what it said. I'm just reading from it. But they're doing it in those areas, and they have a professional managing company called DHI Residential. They have their ducks in a row. When I grow up, I want to be just like them.
And so Bernard enlightened me on yesterday, and he shared with me that D.R. Horton's CEO makes...
So let's start with Mr. Horton.
Mr. Horton.
Mr. Horton
himself.
It's Donald R. Horton. You get it, D.R. Horton.
Okay. And
his salary is...
I hate to say that. Oh, so he's still like...
He's living.
Yeah.
I don't know how old he is, but he does have kids that are kind of... They're not in the business, but they... Kind of like Steve Jobs saying.
Let me tell y'all something. If it's to be known, Bernard is going to know. He going to do his homework and digging. So,
type of stuff, startup, like somebody's major company.
Yes.
And I'm getting off topic, but somebody's company, the way it, like from elementary, I never like reading books, but if you give me a book about somebody's company, how it started and how it's going now, I would read the whole thing. Even like the Ford company, believe it or not, the family is still working in the company.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? That's a true legacy.
Right.
But anyways, Mr. Horton, D.R. Horton, Donald R. Horton, his salary is $50 million a year.
Yeah, a year.
$50 million a year. And he's not running the company. He's a board of director. The CEO of the company is on salary for like $30 million a year.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Is that your future?
I don't know. Who knows what happens?
You got to manifest it. You got to claim it if that's what you want.
$30 to $50 million a year, I won't argue with anybody.
Right. I would not argue either.
So, I mean, it's definitely a goal and it's very motivating to just kind of see how they work. But like, startups, I love it. Yeah.
So I know that, you bought your first investment property last year.
Oh, Lord shit. Let me tell you.
I really wanted you to speak to this.
We're you put me on the spot. I knew exactly what you were doing. I had to vent to Ebony. This last...
Wait, let me set it up.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead. You can got me filled up again. Gosh darn. Go ahead.
Let me set it up. Okay. So Bernard actually purchased his first rental property last year. So he is a new landlord and it's been going great.
Hey, we've been trucking, doing well.
Okay, doing well. But just like any other new venture, you run into, situations that give you a different, not a different perspective.
It is a different perspective. Different perspective on how to outlook.
I'm gonna let Bernard speak about his first. Not quite a year yet, but almost a year. Almost a year being a landlord.
First of all, this was not planned. She put me on the spot because I ventured to her.
Content, right?
So we have been doing well. Tenants pay on time. They're great. Don't ask for much. But recently, we had an AC issue, and the issue that wasn't a major issue. Like obviously, yes, the house is not cooling to standards, right? But the issue that I had wasn't the tenants. The issue that I had was the contractors. Everybody was giving me the runaround. And if you know me, I don't haggle anybody's prices. Somebody tell me a price, I'm like, if it don't make sense to me, then you're just not for me. But as far as like using somebody's services, I don't haggle prices whatsoever. And I mean, I must have gotten just the most negative people. Like, oh, well, this is that, and I'll try to make the story.
And they all told you different things.
Everybody told me something different. So my AC had a leak, and there was an issue in the ceiling where it overflowed and it damaged the ceiling. So I got that cut out because I didn't want any mold to grow in the home. But the ceiling is the least of my concerns. There are people that live in this home, and all I wanted was the AC to be fixed. And two different people gave me the runaround. And I actually called Aisha because Aisha builds houses. I was like, Aisha, I don't know what to do. And I called her looking for a referral because that's kind of how I do business, based on referrals. Like, hey, can you help me? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you want somebody's cousin to do it? Or do you want somebody you can hold accountable? And I was like, accountable? Like, fix it. Stop. Like, just do it, right? And so she was like, you want somebody accountable? You need to go to Google. So I went to Google. And I called around. And finally, I got somebody to be able to come over there immediately within 3 to 4 hours. And this person was very positive, said, hey, this is what you need. Gave me the rundown. The bill was I don't know, $2,000. Who cares? It's the principle. Fix the AC. I was not trying to haggle any prices. But, you know, what I got out of that was like, you know, you do have to have good contractors in your corner. There are different kind of landlords. There's landlords that don't want to fix nothing, and there's landlords that do want to fix something. And I didn't want to give that vibe to the tenant, like, oh, he sucks, he doesn't want to do anything. But like, I was truly getting the runaround, and it really felt like crap because I couldn't do it.
You didn't have control.
I didn't have control.
Right.
And that's what it was.
Right.
It was like, Ebony, I'm about to, whatever little bit of hair that I do have, I'm pulling it out of my hair, my head, because it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm confused.
Yeah, I really wanted you, and I'm sorry I put you on the spot.
You did, but it's okay.
But I think it was important because so many people want to be investors. You know, they want to be landlords. And I think it's good to have a realistic, true perspective of things. And so tell me again, so what is, I know you said that you have to have good contractors. Now, what, was there any other perspective that you had?
So we got to have good contractors. And then me, you know, I could do, for myself, I can do some preventative maintenance, right? I can have somebody go and look at it every 6 months just to see, you know, what's going on? Is everything good? Somebody trustworthy, right? Because sometimes when you tell people like money is not an object, like I mean it, but I don't mean it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They will try to like, oh, well, you could do this. Or you do. Hey, man, does it work or does it not work?
Right.
Right.
Well, the other thing is to, you know, I think a very important part of this story that you left out is that the tenants didn't report it for a minute.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's because nothing leaks in the house where the ceiling needs to be caved in within a day. Right. It took them about 4 days to let me know because they said they saw it and they stopped.
Right.
But it never stopped because the ceiling was sinking. But you know, all in, they meant well. They didn't know. Right. But you know, I could do my part by making sure that I get some preventative maintenance, but also too, I can do some type of inspection. I'm not here to like put you out the house, but I also just care because it is an older home. I want to look at the house and make sure that it's something on me that maybe you don't see. Right. Kind of like having a third party inspector come to the house. Yeah. Nobody's going to take care of the house as much as I will because it's my place.
Well, you know, and again, you're that kind of landlord.
Yeah.
There's not everybody that's kind of landlord.
But that, you know, and I don't mean to brag, but that instant though, like most people want to be investors, but to invest, you also have to have money, backup money. And I see a lot of people wanting to do it and their money is very limited. Like that was nothing to me. Like that's my house. That's the tenants. They deserve the best of the best because they pay their rent on time. Right. But I don't think the average person want to be an investor realize the amount of money that they need to have saved for emergencies like that. Because you can't cut corners like that. You can't cut corners.
And it could have been a lot bigger.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, you could have had to replace
the
whole
absolutely.
unit.
and I was prepared for that as well. Didn't want to do that, but I was prepared for that. And that's what, you know, I have a family member was like, well, we can lease it out. Lease it out. You got insurance? Do you have flood insurance? Are you prepared for maintenance? Because a tenant will find every excuse not to pay you rent if they're living in crap. Yeah. So are you prepared? Are you financially stable to be able to do the things that need to be done? Well, I am
giving you big old kudos for being a good landlord.
I try, but this is probably one of the most stressful weeks, and tenants had nothing to do with it. How about that? Right. Most people complain about their tenants.
About the tenants, yeah.
No.
It was the contractors, basically.
Yep. So nice. AC is fixed.
All right.
Drip pan is fixed. We have a mechanism in there, so it will never overflow to the ceiling. And the ceiling is also fixed, patch. We're going to make it look back to normal.
All right.
So, yes.
You go. I love it.
So, yeah.
All right. So why are you people out there that want to be landlords? Please take notes of what Bernard,
Contact us. Contact us if you want to be a landlord. Yes. We can maybe guide you I am a.
So I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question. Is this property in your name or is it in a company's name?
It's in my personal name. I
Is it
did
your
ask the
personal name?
lender to if I could put it in a business name, and I opened up my business, a new business for that intent, right?
Uh-huh.
But I was unable to put it in my business, so it's my personal property.
Okay.
Maybe later on I'll change it on a business.
Yeah. Do you know why there's a benefit to that? That might be a podcast we need to have. Like, what's
So
the
when it's
benefit
under
to-
a company, so just like a builder, when a builder builds, they build under an LLC,
Mm-hmm.
right? I do work with builders as well. That liability goes under the LLC and not that personal person.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's under the personal person, then the liability goes to that person,
Right.
not the company.
So is it more? So it's more about liability and less about tax benefits.
Yeah.
Because you still get tax benefits if it's a
Yeah.
investment property.
And honestly, the way things are set up, I need all of the credits I can get. So,
yes, he does. Yes, he does.
So, yeah.
But don't we all? Whew. So, but yeah, I think that I'm personally, I just hate seeing so many people get priced out of the rental market,
Yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah, the residential.
Over asking is a thing in rental.
Yeah, over asking
It's for
is
lease for
a thing in
$1,500.
rental.
I'll give you 18.
I'll give you 18.
What the heck?
That is something that is happening. Yes. So I have a friend. I don't typically do rentals, except for if it's right in my neighborhood or if they're a really, really close friend. So it had been a while and I'm helping a friend right now. And I'm like, okay, girl, like we're going to have to, if they're asking 2,000, we're going to have to offer 22 because there's 20 other applications on this house. And if you notice, we are starting to have a little bit of a balance to the market. A little bit. It's having
We're still low
small,
on inventory.
Yeah, but it's
on both ends.
It's
all three
small
ends.
shift.
Apartments as well. Apartments. I heard apartments. Some of them have waiting lists. Home rentals, which is why you have to do over, and then for sale homes.
Yeah. But like over the last week, there were over 1,600 new listings that came on within 7 days. I looked at the hot sheet this morning. Yes. So new listings are definitely coming out there. And this is typical because we're in the summer. So, people tend to list in the summer so that their children can start their new school, the new school year in their new house. So this is typical that we have such an influx of new listings. But yeah.
We did 3 new listing appointments last week.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it is more inventory that's out there. So I think it's getting a little bit closer to being balanced.
With the market being crazy, whether it's buying, selling or leasing, you do have to have a solid realtor in your corner.
Absolutely.
Right. And somebody who knows the market. Right. And because sometimes a consumer, you just don't know. Right. Just like us going to, I don't know, the bank or whatever. Like, we don't know. I don't work there. So I don't know. I rely on you.
They just read stuff.
Right. Or the friend in the ear that purchased 25 years ago.
Yes. The friend that tells you, it's not a good time to buy.
Right.
But your friend don't even have a house.
Ooh.
They never even bought a house.
I never said that.
I'm just saying.
Shout out to your friend. But honestly,
I'm telling you.
Oh goodness, Ebony. Usually it's me. What the heck?
I've been hanging around him way too much. Okay.
But seriously, the having a solid person in your corner, and I'll give you an example. And I know our time is about to end.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it?
I know.
I had a client that we're about to go under contract on a new construction, a 6-bedroom home. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an inventory home. So the salesperson at the model home kind of went all out and inspected it out. 6 bedrooms, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. 6-bedroom, 3,000 square feet at the client's budget. And then all of a sudden a new house comes on the market. There always will be new homes coming onto the market.
Every moment.
But this was new construction, no bidding war, warranty, and they saw a house that they wanted. It was built in 1979 in a competitive market at a competitive price. And they're like, hey, what are the odds that we're going to get this house? How bad do you want it?
Yes.
Also, too, with you going over asking, with it being so competitive with the price, they probably don't want to fix anything in the house. Once again, it was built in 1979. That's still kind of new. It's not too horribly old, but because my rental property is built in the 50s, it's been remodeled. But 1979, there will be something that comes up on the inspection report, and there could be major items that come up on the inspection report, i.e., there's a possibility that the foundation may not be at its best shape. Are you prepared to fix that and give them over asking? But if I would have allowed that client to run me crazy, then they would have became crazy too, because they would have had their hopes thinking they're going to get that house that 15 other people wanted.
Read my lips. Trust our expertise as realtors. Okay, we really do have your best interest. Many of us. I know there are some out there, but not the Braden agents. Okay, we work. Integrity is definitely a value that we have at our brokerage, and we truly do have our clients' best interests.
Yes.
But I'm saying that to say, in the end, the client makes the decision.
At the end, the client makes a decision.
All we can do is educate you, but in the end, if that's what you want to do.
But what if you had a realtor or someone who didn't? And I'm not talking crap about anybody, but that's just like they just want the money. They just want the money, right? But I'm all about, and this is how I've been in sales at this point, 13 years. I don't know. And
how? You're only 18.
I wish. I started at 18. But my thing is that like there are so many things. Like, what if you don't have anybody that can let you know that, and you're just running around? Why are you running around? Interest rates going up. Yeah. Like how? Like, come on now, we got to work together. Yeah. But if you listen and trust in your realtor, I think things will be great. Absolutely. That's my take on it. What do I know? The heck do I know?
So wrapping it up, all the prices are going up, right? So rental sales.
That includes apartments as well.
Everything is going up, and it's stuck. So that's right. Stop waiting for things to fall. The only thing that's going to fall eventually are the interest rates. So you might as well get in now, position yourself to refinance much later on, years down the line, nowhere.
But wait.
What?
There was a podcast we did with Nicole. If you guys want to go and watch it, we talked about an ARM. And I want them to go back and look at that, because ARMs are going to become popular. ARM is a loan product.
Not become, they are at this point.
Well, are even more popular, right? But check that out, because I had a really educated conversation with a client, and they're like, what do you think about an ARM? And I think it'll be great. The deal with the interest rates, if you go back to our previous show with Coach Gene Austin, is the government is trying to fight inflation.
Right.
As soon as they fix it, then I'm sure they will be a little bit more compelling to lower the interest rate. Mm-hmm. But we don't know how long that will be.
Nope.
We do recommend that, you look at all options and not wait.
Yeah. So. And I have to speak on this, and we are running out of time, but I have, just because you brought up ARM, this will be another show, but I do want to say that one of the reasons that ARMs quote unquote failed in the past is because people weren't educated.
And it
wasn't disclosed, but people weren't educated. And the most important thing is keep your credit strong.
That's right.
Because you can't get in an ARM and then completely mess up your credit, because then, yes, it does hinder you from refinancing. So that's, again, one of the reasons why it failed, in the past, is because people were like, oh, okay, I got my house now, so I don't care about paying my bills, So keep your credit strong if you do decide to get in an arm.
And if you do get into a sticky situation, it's easy. You got to go. Put the house up for sale.
Yes.
Let somebody buy it. Let that arm close out. And then you move on with your life and you start over. But there are always solutions. But just speak up and talk to people. Don't end it in a foreclosure, because that's on your credit for 8 years.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Yep. So.
All right.
That's Selling Houston POV. Please like, subscribe, share.